All right, so going into this video, I already know many of you might be rolling your eyes or getting upset at me, say I'm sounding whiny or whatever the case may be. So let me be clear at the start. I am not upset about the price points of Nintendo's online. The $3.99, $7.99, $19.99 for a year, or the $34.99 family plan. Now, I actually am a little perturbed, and that's what this video is about the family plan in general, but it has nothing to do with the price point. So let's take away the price points for a moment, because we're not talking about price points. If you want to get into the value of Nintendo Switches Online, we could do that another time. And the copious amount of features that is completely missing from Nintendo's online system to make it worth what it's worth. Because if we're being honest, while the other systems charge, $60 a year or whatever the case may be, that $60 a year includes a hell of a lot more than we're getting for $20 a year. So the price points are actually comparative to the features we're getting. But that's besides the point. I'm not upset about the pricing. I'm upset that the family plan exists at all. Now, let me be clear on this. Family plans for paid online account systems, which, by the way, paid online account systems are a bunch of BS for the most part anyways. I'm okay with a charge for cloud saves, whatever. You have to pay for the storage. I mean, you have to do that on your phone anyways, right? Like, you get, I think 5 gigs for free on Google Drive, and then you have to pay to get more. Like, that's just the way it is. You're paying for storage space. So I'm cool with having to have cloud saves behind a subscription service of some type. That's fine. Some people are upset about that. None of that matters to me. I mean, those servers don't pay for themselves, right? Like, someone has to foot the bill. Obviously, the people using it should be footing the bill. I'm one of the people using it, so I should be footing the bill. The cloud save thing, that's whatever. The fact there's no local saves, that's a whole other issue as well. It needs to happen, needs to exist, but whatever. We're talking today about the family plan. And we're talking about the family plan because Nintendo had the balls, probably because of the price points, but had the gall and the balls to create a problem that doesn't exist anywhere else. So here's how account systems work online. Since this is brand new information, a lot of people don't know. You get a $19 or $20 subscription, right? You buy your year subscription for $20 for Nintendo Online. You and your family might all use one Switch, but you buy it and everything's all happy, and you're playing Mario Kart online, you're playing whatever online. Then your sister or your brother or your parents decide to, or your girlfriend or whatever decides to play as well, and they go on their account, and then they go to play Mario Kart 8 online, except, oh look, they can't do it because they require a subscription. But wait a second. The primary account holder on the system already has a subscription. Why do you also need a subscription on a Switch that already has an active subscription to use it? And herein lies the problem. Nintendo self-created this issue. What I just described does not happen on any other platform in the world. How other platforms work that have paid online services, which again, I don't like paid online services. I don't think they should exist, especially when we're talking about, hey, we're paywalling multiplayer games that are just P2P anyways, which means all we're doing is paying for access to the internet, which is another thing to get into another day. But setting that aside, I think all of us can agree nobody likes having to pay for it, but if we're going to pay for it, okay, let's talk about the way it works on other platforms that have been doing this for a long time. Now, way back in the day, on Xbox, I think it was the OG Xbox in the early days of Xbox 360, every person on the system had to have their own Xbox Live subscription. That's just the way it was. But that was very, very early. We're talking, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. Once we got to 2008, everything changed. What happened is people realized that the multiple subscription thing wasn't really working, and there was a lot of fan backlash, which isn't really occurring right now, and that's why we're having this video discussion. What happened is there was backlash over the fact that, what happened is people just weren't playing games online anymore. You have the primary account holder, maybe, but their friends or sisters, they wouldn't do it because they don't have access, and they're not going to pay $20 to try it out. So, or back then, $60 or whatever it costed back then. I can't remember what I was paying for Xbox Live back then. And then PlayStation also came out, with their own online pay service, and it was kind of the same thing where one person pays and everyone on that system has access to Xbox Live. More than that, it's not just on that system. It's across multiple systems. You can kind of associate family members with your account. Add your account to their Xbox. I think it's up to 3 or 4 Xboxes. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's something like that. I think there's 3 or 4 Xbox Ones, and then one's your primary, and the other ones are like your family of systems. You put your Xbox account on there. You might never play on that system, but everyone else who plays on it has access to online services. So basically, you pay that $60 fee, and then 16, 18, 20, 50 people, whatever the limit is per console. Which I can't remember what it is on Xbox. Is it 10? Is it 10 accounts, 12 accounts, something like that, per console, over 4 different consoles? You could be talking about something like 24 different accounts having full online access to all of the online services for one person paying $60 a year. So it's a significant thing. Now, what Nintendo has done has created this issue where whether they're playing on your system or multiple systems, you need to get a family plan if you want anyone but yourself to be doing that. Now, keep in mind, you can actually put your account on multiple systems. As an example, if I'm paying for online on my Switch, and then I'm somewhere else and I want to play on their Switch and they don't have online services, and I want to play online services on their Switch with my account, I can't, because I'd have to transfer everything over to their system, and then it wouldn't be their system anymore. So, I mean, that's a whole nother system. Like, universal accounts is all messed up with Nintendo, but here's the weird thing about all of this. Why you pay extra for the family plan. Forget about the pricing. You pay extra for that family plan. So everyone on your Switch, or up to 8 total people on your Switch, could play online services, or up to 8 different Switches. Right? That is one advantage. I don't think you can do 8 different Xbox Ones, but you can do 8 separate Switches with their own accounts. Although, if you happen to have 8 people all together on that family plan, all of the people that also might have accounts on their system can't access the internet, because you'd have to buy a whole separate plan for them too. So whatever. Nintendo self-created a problem here that's really strange, because they already do something that everyone else does with accounts. So when you buy games, when you buy digital games, they are tied directly to your Nintendo account. That's how it works. They're no longer system bound. So what this means is, when I buy, say, what did I buy the other day? Late Shift. I bought Late Shift on Switch. When I bought that on my account on Switch, every other account on my Switch, for my fiance, for my daughter, they all have access to that game. Of course, my daughter doesn't because of age ratings, but you know what I mean. Like, say Blossom Tales, right? My daughter has access to Blossom Tales that I also bought, but that's tied on my account. Now, if my fiance decides on her account she wants to buy, what's another good example of this? She wants to buy Stardew Valley. Okay, but I didn't buy Stardew Valley. But because she bought it and her account is on my Switch, I personally have access to play Stardew Valley, because we're all on the one system. We're all in that family of games on that platform. So Nintendo already does what every other Xbox and PlayStation do as well, because it's true on those platforms. Any game you buy digitally, when you're all on the same system, everybody shares those games. Well, that's all fine and dandy until we get to online services. Everyone can't share without paying extra on top. Do I have to pay extra to play Stardew Valley when my fiance buys it on her account? No, I do not. Not unless she transfers her account to a different system. So what I'm kind of getting at here is that Nintendo has self-created an issue that doesn't need to exist. And it's kind of infuriating. There are, some quote-unquote benefits to it. Obviously, in comparison to, say, an Xbox Live account or a PlayStation account, PlayStation Network account, like you can have up to 8 systems with their own, covered under this, and people talk about how it's pennies, it's like 3 cents a day, and it's like, I get all that. The idea is, I don't have an issue with the pricing. I don't care if the base Nintendo account system was $34.99. Like, I don't have an issue. I don't even care if they charge $60. Well, I mean, I would, because then you charge $60, and now you have to look at Xbox Live, you have to look at PlayStation Network and be like, what are they offering, and why are you offering significantly less for the same price? This is the way Nintendo's avoiding comparisons, because they only charge $20, so we don't have to compare it to everyone else. But they self-created an issue they don't have with games. When you buy games digitally, everyone shares them. But when you buy an online sub, everyone doesn't share access to online services unless you buy a family plan. And even then, you're limited to 8 people. So, as I stated, obviously, there's benefits and downfalls to this. The benefit is up to 8 systems. The downfall is that when my fiance and my daughter are playing on my Switch, they have no access to online services unless I buy an upper level an upper level, a higher grade of online services. It's just the family tier shouldn't exist. I'm sorry. I agree with family grouping and adding people, but like the family tier just shouldn't be a thing. It's frustrating. And what sucks is it's been so hard. I've been watching this conversation over the last 12 hours or so on the internet where people just don't understand it. It's everyone's talking about the money. Oh, it's only $34.99. Who cares? But you should care. This is a precedent being set by Nintendo. So when they increase the prices of their online services on the next platform, because it's going to happen, they're going to go from 20 to 30. Well, guess what? The family plan goes from 35 to 45. And it's going to keep happening because Nintendo can get away with it. This has happened on other platforms as well. That's just the way it goes. So I'm not saying that you should not buy a Nintendo online account system. I'm going to have one because they're paywalling all of my multiplayer games. And without that, without paying for it, I can't access it. And yes, it is cheap. Relatively, do I care about $34, $35? Not really. I'm going to buy the family plan because I don't want to have to worry about these issues. But my point is that the family plan just shouldn't exist. And we need to call Nintendo out on it because they're going to get away with it because they have created an issue that doesn't need to exist, that no other company or platform has. And they're saying, but we have a solution to that. We are self-creating a problem that we don't even adhere to with our video games, but we're going to adhere to it with our online systems. Do you see how ridiculous this is? As an example, I have Splatoon 2 on my account. Everyone on my Switch can play Splatoon 2, but they can't play it online because I have to buy an extra service for that. It's just... And as I said, I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of dislikes. This might become my most disliked video in a long time. And that's saying something because we just had one, I think, a week ago or something. They got like a 50-50 like to dislike ratio. But you know what? It needs to be said. If I lose 200, 300 subs over this, it's whatever. I can't do anything but be honest with you guys. I've been really critical of Nintendo's online offerings and online services since they announced it a year ago. And I have some positive things to say about this online stuff, especially when it comes to the NES library and what they're doing with that. I have a lot of great things to say about that, and I will do that in another video. But for now, I need to get this out here because I feel like the people that feel the way I do have been getting drowned out by the crowd defending everything Nintendo does just because it's cheap. I had to get this in here. It's out there. This one is for you folks that have that same viewpoint as I do. I hear you. I agree with you, and I'm going to be part of the problem because I'm going to end up buying a family subscription. So I'm going to be part of the problem because I'm going to end up buying a family subscription. Anyways, folks, I'm Nathaniel Robojans from Nintendo Prime, and if you like this video, you know what to do. And if you dislike the video, hit that dislike button like so many of you are already thinking of doing. Subscribe for more content, including honest opinions just like this, and I'll catch you in the next one.